Together, we can leverage our collective expertise and resources to develop practical and effective solutions tailored to our local context. I would like to extend our special thanks to our distinguished speakers and facilitators, whose guidance and knowledge will be invaluable as we navigate the complex landscape of disaster risk reduction. I want to encourage all the participants to engage actively, ask questions and share your thoughts. Your contributions are vital for the success of this workshop and the effectiveness of our roadmap. Thank you once again for being here and for your commitment for this crucial endeavor.
Now, as you all might have understood, this is the second time or maybe the third time, or maybe for the nodal officers of the disaster management of the line department, you might have come for this kind of gathering, or to put, while developing this document, you might have come several times together. I believe that this gathering is going to give us a pointer how we are going to go ahead in the implementation of this. Developing a very good document of roadmap is good, but if we are not implementing it on ground, then the very purpose of our time and our energy which we have spent in developing such document will not bring any benefit, will not bring any good to the society or even to ourselves. The subject of disaster risk reduction, as you might have already understood by now, is very, very centric to any developmental works, or very, very centric to the economy of every nation. That is the crush that we are all gathering here today. If we do the disaster risk reductions very well, all other things would be all resilient and sustainable. It is very important for us to also understand now what we are doing and why we are doing. Now these two questions will really help us to understand doing what we are doing much better, doing why we are doing much better. If you really look at all the developmental activities happening today, we have been also telling to the NHIDs here that the way they are constructing road is not right, and they never listen to us. And if you see, till today, from Dimapur to Kohima, we are supposed to be getting a 4-lane road, but still we are getting only a 2-lane road, which is due, very, very due to be delivered. So now, if before we carried out the 4-lane constructions of Kohima Dimapur Road, if the concerned agencies or the department or the authorities were to look at what we are doing and why we are doing, it would have been done much better, and today we would have been enjoying a very good 4-lane road. There are many technologies which is available to be constructing this kind of road in this fragile, geologically fragile area of our state, especially in the Himalayan states. So there are many other methods that we need to really look at it. And here all the line departments are very, very important department, especially the urban development with the newly elected ULB species, with us. It will be very important for us to even think of how are we going to develop our new urban bodies, towns and councils and cities from here for 100 years. Now if you really look at it, that is very important concept. From now to 100 years. See, if you really look at it, Delhi, if there is 1 hour rain in Delhi, almost the entire area of Delhi city is going to be flooded, because the Delhi infrastructure is not built for this time. It was built for maybe 50 years. It was okay, but not for this. So you may have to really look at it while we are taking up developmental activities. We need to look at future-ready infrastructure development. Future-ready infrastructure development. And for Nagaland, it is all the more important for us to do it. Now in Kohima, in Dimapur, I do not know, after 100 years, whether the infrastructure that we have today is going to really provide us that resilience. And the unethical or unscientific way of natural resources mining, I would say the rock mining. Our Nagas seems to be having a mindset that after you and me, there is no other Naga generation to be existed here on planet Earth. And we are doing so rampantly.
Like I mentioned, the ever-dynamic Joint Chief Executive Officer, Sir Johnny Rongmai, for being the backbone of NSDMA. Sir, please. Mukul, he is also from Assam, but he is now posted in Delhi.
These strategic documents designed by NSDMA with the technical support of our UNICEF invested strategy action plans for different stakeholders. It has estimated the baseline of disaster loss and damage in the state, set detailed action under each, that is under Sendai framework policy, defined in collaborations from various stakeholders, and set attainable target in alignment with national and global framework, such as the Prime Minister 10-point agenda, the Sendai framework for disaster risk reductions, and the sustainable development goals. This workshop, led by NSDMA in collaboration with UNICEF, is an effort to explore the way required for the progressive implementation of the roadmap in the coming day in its true spirit. I believe every one of you, the stakeholders from different line departments, will benefit immensely from this workshop, especially in understanding the relevance of resilient governance system, efficient social sector services, livelihood resilience, emergency response system, infrastructure resilience, and risk-informed urban developments for bringing long-term resilience to the state. Since it is an activity-based workshop, I encourage each participant to actively learn the art of result-oriented project, proposals, formulations, method, and technique, which have been designed exclusively considering Nagaland topography, geomorphology, and culture in mind. By the end of this workshop, each participant will have the skill to develop a DRR proposal equating the values of a climate and disaster resilient Nagaland. Our expert from NSDMA and UNICEF will explain the detailed implementation process of the roadmap, involving the role of various stakeholders, including the government, academia, private sector, and civil society too. By securing sustained commitment of human and financial resources from all stakeholders, we aim to minimize disruption caused by disaster and enhance our capacity to recover swiftly from any future hazard. The launch of this NDRR roadmap signifies a pivotal advancement toward a safer and more resilient Nagaland, underscoring our collective dedications to strengthen preparedness for preserving our landscape and heritage from disaster risks and ensuring sustainable development. Together, let us build a resilient Nagaland where every citizen can thrive without the fear of disaster. Once again, I thank all the stakeholders for your participation in this workshop, and I also congratulate the NSDMA official for vigorously pursuing to make our state a knowledge house for disaster management. Thank you, and may Nagaland continue to flourish and prosper. Thank you.
The government of Nagaland, Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority, is organizing 2 days training workshop on the Nagaland Disaster Risk Reduction Roadmap 2023 to 2030, which is being supported technically by the UNICEF. This is for all the line departments. The document was launched during 2023 Statehood Day by the Honorable Chief Minister of Nagaland. And today's workshop, today and tomorrow, this workshop is going to enable the officials of the line departments to translate these documents on ground so that Nagaland has a future-ready, resilient economy and economic infrastructure. The many road infrastructures which is being undertaken in the state, it is very, very important that before such development of roads begin, we need to have a pre-assessment of risk. We call it hazard risk assessment. Now when the World Bank funded any program, they will insist for the document called hazard risk assessment vulnerability of the area where the road is going to start. Now the many roads are being undertaken by the NHIDCL across the state. It will be very important for the NHIDCL to do this kind of risk pre-vulnerable hazard risk assessments before any such development take place. Now Dimapur to Kohima, even the 4-lane road which is under construction, it would have been very, very important if they had conducted the pre-hazard risk assessments so that they will know what to do. Now after the rock fell between Patkai and that Bakala Bahar, we have conducted a risk assessment which was set up, a committee set up by the state government, and we have also do the drone survey and given the 3D pic of the entire 3D image of the entire regions, right? The site from Patkai Bridge to till the Zaluki Old Bridge. So looking at that one, there are many ways that we can reduce risk. Therefore, our constructions, our building of roads should very importantly become a prime factor for incorporating resilience factor, incorporating risk reduction factor, without which no infrastructure which is building will give a future resilient ready infrastructure. We have a generation to come after us. So whatever we are doing, we need to think about the generation after us. Are we leaving a good infrastructure, or are we building an infrastructure that is going to kill them? This is very important for us to look at it when we build any infrastructures in the state or even in the remote areas or even anywhere. That's risk reduction component incorporations in the building of development should be everyone's business. Now the NSDMA, in our humble way, we have been reaching out in all the remote parts of the districts, especially in Noklat, Samatur, Tuansang, Kifri, Jendagoto. We are also reaching out to the affected families, providing through the emergency relief fund. We are also trying to hire some missionaries and reconnect or clearing of debris. This is what we are doing. Even the PWD, all the engineers, all the divisions in the state, they are also putting a lot of good efforts in order to ensure that road infrastructures are connected. But see, these landslides, flash flood, these are not brought by the government. This is called natural calamity. This is not created by the government. Nah? So we cannot blame the government. The government is trying to reach out to the people who are facing difficulties. So the public should also know The government is not bringing landslide, the government is not bringing flash flood, the government is not bringing, roads to be blocked by landslide. These are all natural calamities which we need to be prepared. We have a slogan named disaster management. We will have to always hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. So this is what we want to tell all the public.